Citizens of the Reject Nation, Greg here today. We are going to talk about the future of the DC Universe, and how we believe it's going to be the biggest year yet for the DC Universe, one that could finally rival the MCU. Mark my words. End of 2023, you will be agreeing with Greg. John, how are you?
I am excited to talk about this. I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, Shazam that like button if you can. Smash it, whatever you got to do it. So we're going to talk about several things today, and several things. This is proper wording in sentencing. We're going to talk about updates on the DCU upcoming movies, updates on James Gunn and Peter Safran taking over, Black Adam, Shazam, Henry Cavill updates. There's a whole bunch to go through, and it's all just making me that much more excited for 2023 and what the DC Universe has to offer. So first thing on the list that we got to go over that is for sure an indication of this could be like their most financially successful year to date is they do have 4 movies officially coming in 2023. We have Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, The Flash movie, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And Aquaman 1, that already hit $1 billion. So if there's one of these that they're looking to possibly make $1 billion, it could be Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. But that's got to be at least a couple billion right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a movie every quarter. I mean, like, the fortunate thing about the position they're in now is that, you know, the superhero movie machine pumps out so many a year that they can easily catch up in little time with all of these things.
Which one are you most excited for, John?
I want to see Xolo Maridueña as the Blue Beetle. I want something new, and I'm excited to see what he brings to that.
Me, the Flash movie.
Do it. Yes, Ezra
Make it happen.
all day. Flash 2.
So yeah, I mean, we have confirmation of those 4 movies coming out in conjunction with each other, and I wanted to point that out first because what we have here is from CEO David Zaslav, everyone's greatest hero right now.
Give it up.
Give it up for David Zaslav.
Love him.
Dude, David Zaslav.
Daddy tax write-off. Let's do this.
So I got a iffy emotional association with the guy.
Yep.
It's very personal.
I can't imagine why.
But I'm excited about James Gunn and Peter Safran, to say the least. So there was recently an earnings call, and there's this quote that's been going around. I'll read it for you right now. I've spent a lot of time over the past few months with James and Peter, which I find interesting that he's saying that because, you know, like it wasn't that long ago when he took over, and it seems like he's had this kind of in development from the beginning. Talking about our strategy and long-term plans for the future of DC across TV, animation, and film. They have a powerful vision and blueprint that will drive a more unified creative approach that will allow us to enable to the full value of one of the world's most iconic franchises. They are hard at work right now. Meaning that seems like that 10-year plan or whatever the heck it was that David Zaslav was teasing. It looks like they might actually have something in the works.
They might have a plan.
They might have an actual plan now of what they might want to do. So when thinking about this, I was like, okay, we're looking at the release dates of these 4 movies. And now when you have The Flash coming out in June, a month after that is usually Comic-Con. And they can make a big splash at SDCC. Is that the right amount of letters? Yeah. SDCC.
Too many C's.
They can make a big splash there with their announcements of what they have upcoming, with whatever the plan is that's being formulated following the success of their multiverse movie, The Flash, and whatever that does with creating timelines or whatever mumbo jumbo comes down the road. But bottom line is they could do that. Or if they do wait after Blue Beetle, but before Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, usually that time in October is when they would have the DC Fandom, where they can make an even bigger splash right then and there. Maybe they might even show up at SDCC and DC Fandom. But if they have this plan that they're putting into fruition, because they'd have to work with these 4 films, I think right then and there, you know, because when you think about the idea of these 4 movies coming out, 4 movies that are more than likely going to be big box office hits, if there's one thing us comic book movie fans love more than anything else, it's the anticipation, the hype.
Give me those juicy details.
More things
Give
to
me
come.
those few talking points.
The future.
Give me the same article on every site.
That's what we love more than anything else.
Yeah,
it's
man.
the thing to look forward to.
The trickles of what comes next.
Rather than the actual product.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, if you're having actual products coming out that are being big hits, and then whatever shows they have that are also big hits, I'm assuming Penguin Show has to come at some point.
Oh, sure.
And then you have these announcements, that alone could generate the biggest year for 2023. John, thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the good thing, again, about this is that, like, the world is their oyster. The playing field is theirs to gain on. And so I feel like if they could show up at SDCC and then, come back with a DC fandom that rivals that of the first DC fandom. They could have a huge mic drop of a year in 2023. And plus, it says right there, TV, movies, and animation. And one thing DC is great at, I think most people agree, is their animated movies, and they have some legendary and prolific TV projects as well. So if they could bring all that stuff together and really, you've got HBO caliber shows coming up from this universe that we already have experience with, I feel like that is a great blend of things to get people excited and to get this universe, if not back on top, at least back in a place where it is commanding the full respect it deserves.
Yeah, that's why they got to keep canceling shows that nobody likes at all.
That's right.
Nobody likes Stargirl.
Make room.
No one has ever liked Stargirl. No, it's really sad what happened.
There's a lot of
Must acknowledge
sad
it.
things.
There's a lot of sad things happening.
But there's a
WB.
lot of things to be hopeful for too.
I met a guy who works on a pretty big WB show, and he says the crew is constantly stressed about the futures.
Oh, I can't.
So as much as this is
imagine
a
why.
positive video about the DCU, I am also going to say that I'm aware that, and there could be some rocky roads ahead.
This is one of many regime changes, and it's just, we'll see how this one goes, but it seems like they've picked the right people, so I have faith.
I want to embrace a tad bit of optimism.
Yeah.
And then one thing I do want to talk about that I think should be something that people ought to get excited about. I want to quickly go over a dramatic report. Other people have done videos about it this week already. You guys might have already heard about Dwayne Johnson's thinly veiled disdain for the Shazam movies and perhaps even the character. What's been coming out, the long story short, without going into every single quote, is that there was a deleted scene from Shazam that has reportedly surfaced that teased Black Adam showing up in a Shazam sequel, and Dwayne Johnson wanted that scene to be removed. Reports about him having this thinly veiled disdain. The reports about him having a thinly veiled disdain, and also the fact that Peter Safran produces Shazam, so that could create some potential friction. But Dwayne Johnson himself has come out and said that, no, it's an inevitability. They will eventually cross over together. And I think if there's one thing Dwayne Johnson has proven with Black Adam, whether you love that film or not, he really does care about the fans, and he really does listen to the fans. And if he's going to work his ass off to make sure Superman can show up, and granted, he obviously seems way more excited at the prospect of a film between him and Superman than he does between him and Shazam.
Yeah.
Clearly, people want him to go toe-to-toe with Shazam. They want something there to happen. So I don't think Dwayne Johnson, the guy who's notoriously known for listening to his fans, I don't think he's going to completely ignore his fans. And there has been a report coming out that there is a scene or post-credit scene, I don't know if there's a spoiler or not, just a rumor, that they are going to include Black Adam in the Shazam Fury of the Gods in some way.
Yeah, I mean, that would make a lot of sense. And yeah, given what The Rock has said on record, I feel like it's just about finessing the project so that they can coalesce together in a way that makes sense. And I feel like the position you're in with Shazam, as it reads to me, is partly that you have this character who is growing and maturing. And I feel like at a third or fourth movie is the more appropriate time to have him meet a character like Black Adam. And if you look at Black Adam, there is a sense of humor in that movie that is darker, but still akin to what you would see in a Shazam. So I feel like he's well aware that, the source material merits them coming together, and I don't think he has any begrudging quality towards that. So I think it's mostly about taking the right time to do it rather than rushing it, and that seems to be his whole approach this entire time.
1,000%. And of course, we got to talk about any minor update from Henry Cavill. It's about as good as Hugh Jackman updating us on Deadpool 3. Which is, it's happening, and I'm excited. And so Henry Cavill,
I'm optimistic.
He's giving these quotes out there lately, but there's one in particular. There's an excerpt from one of his very long quotes because he's just been expressing lately how excited he is that he's just going to be back here. He even talked recently about how he hasn't met James Gunn yet, but he's excited to be having these future ongoing conversations with him about the future of Superman within the DC universe. But what he said recently is that, but it is humbling to be the guy who gets to be the custodian of that character once again, and hopefully for many years to come, as long as I do justice by the character. So if he's putting out words like that, it could just be him putting out wishful thinking or this hopefulness, which is very Superman-like, might I, but putting out this hopefulness of, I want to do more than just a couple of films or whatever. I really want to have a long-term game here with Superman. I think for him to be putting it out, there's got to at least be some conversations going forward now about what it is the future of Superman will be with Henry Cavill and how long can they gestate that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How can they gracefully grow this into something that can stick around for a long time and carry that weight and cultural iconic importance, I guess, because there has been such a journey and a road with him, and it's really gratifying, and it does seem like the perfect example of a guy who is completely suited to the character, and they would be foolish not to make everything they can out of the second chance that this is, because people are already petitioning for him to be reinstated as Geralt. Like, people love Henry Cavill's characters, and if he could really bounce back and really put the definitive spirit of Superman stamp on it, I feel like that will it alone buoy the DC universe for many years to come.
I think he should come back as Geralt.
He should. I feel bad for Liam Hemsworth, but I'm like, no, he's my favorite character.
No, yeah.
I can't imagine
him. I don't want to watch it.
I want to watch it for morbid curiosity.
I want to watch one episode and move on.
But yes, that's fair enough. I agree.
Alrighty, guys. Well, there we are with the DC Universe. What are you most excited about with the future of this franchise? Yeah, just wanted to put that out there really quick and share some optimism about it, because I'm starting to feel optimistic. All right, guys. Well, subscribe, leave a like. Hey, let's end this with a Patron. Lance Dorr. Lance, it's Thanksgiving time, and we're kicking off this month. We're acknowledging our longest, most loyal supporters by far. You guys want to know how long of how loyal of a supporter this guy is? He has not swayed from the amount pledged that he has at our Patreon page for a total of 57 months.
It's almost 5 years.
Watch me do the math. Watch me do the math. That is not fun. Is it? That is like 5 years.
Yeah.
I got the Patreon for 5 years.
I
got a bigger Patreon.
I know, it's crazy.
So,
Lance, what are you going to do to help out with that?
365 times 5 to 1,725 plus 7 months. I don't know how long that is.
No. At first I saw it, I was like, 57 months? That's like a little over a year. No, wait, that's how many weeks there are. 12 times 6 is no. Oh, no, I'm getting
What are you talking about? 12
months in a year.
So that'd be 4 years.
Okay, so yeah, like 4 years.
12 times 5 is 60.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like
Jeez, that's a long
4
time.
years and change, yeah. That's a long time, Lance. What are you doing with your
money
life?
into something that could have accrued and been able to generate a real profit out
Could
there.
have bought a few shares of a modest stock and watched it grow
Put that
into
in crypto, you'd be a millionaire.
Oh, dude, you would. And then you'd lose it and then become a millionaire again and ride that roller coaster to your grave.
But I appreciate you being here for as long as you have been, man. It's a very, very nice support. So, Lance, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and know that we are extremely grateful for you and your presence. Thank you, buddy.